coming to y'all with a little bit of a story time. If you hear movement and stuff, I am outside with my dog, and it's just her moving around. So this story time is about when I made an impulsive decision to cut somebody off. And it's also about how when the Lord wants you to do something, He will give you no rest about it. Furthermore, so this was about 2 years ago. I made an impulsive decision to cut somebody off because I felt like that's what the Lord was telling me to do, but I was sadly mistaken. That night, let me tell you, was it one of the most terrible nights ever, and I can still remember it like if it was yesterday. I could not get any sleep at all. I didn't sleep a wink that night. It was terrible. I was just filled with anxiety, and anxiety doesn't come from the Lord, but I felt impinged with the feeling of that I made a very bad decision. That wasn't the Lord, basically, because I felt like if that was truly the Lord wanting me to cut that person off, I'd feel at peace about it, even if there was an anxiety in between, from my own feelings. I'd still feel the peace of God. You can still feel the peace of God in a situation, even if you have some, spots of anxiety, but anxiety and fear, that does not come from the Lord. Anyways, yeah, I had no rest that night, and the one thing on my mind was I made the wrong decision, basically. I just playing out the conversation of how I cut the person off. Like, I didn't cut them off in a rude way. I explained myself, all that stuff, but it wasn't the right decision to make. So that morning I texted that person, and I figured out what the Lord was telling me to do, and I was still new to learning His voice and stuff, but I, corrected that situation, got on a phone call with that person, and, let them know what it was and explained myself and apologized, because, that didn't come out of nowhere. There was, different signs of me getting ready to cut this person off, but nonetheless, the whole moral of the story is that when the Lord is needing you to do something, it's very, very important. He will give you no rest about it. So yeah, I was able to make things right with that situation, but I think that's just a prime example of making sure that you are hearing the voice of God. And if you are hearing Him right, He will confirm it multiple times. But when God is needing you to do something very important, because there's a timestamp as to when this needs to be done, and it's very pivotal that it gets done within this time, then listen. Or else it will be just like Jonah. When Jonah ran away from, or pretended like he didn't hear what God was telling him to do, his life ended up being in chaos, complete chaos, until he did what God was telling him to do. Yes, we do have free will to choose whether to do what God told us to do, but we will suffer the consequences if we choose to go that route. Trust and believe me, my consequence that night was getting no sleep and just being riddled with so much anxiety. It was terrible, but I learned my lesson. Don't make impulsive decisions. Check with God and wait and allow Him to confirm what you need to do. And if you're watching this and God is giving you no rest about a situation because there's a decision that needs to be made, there's something that needs to be done on your part, then follow and be obedient to whatever He's telling you to do. Just do that. It will spare you a lot of trouble, to say the least. So yeah, that's my little story time, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.